Hi, welcome to Media Bite. Thank you for watching all of our October themed videos. I appreciate it so much because I love making horror movie related videos. I'm honestly going to just get right into this video because this video is going to be full of some of the most confusing timelines and me trying to explain some of the weirdest lore that you've ever heard of. So in this video, I'm going to try my hardest, I should say, not to explain every single film, but try to give you a general basic idea of what happens in that timeline. So without further ado, let's just try to get into the timelines of this insane franchise of films. So spoiler warning for almost every single Halloween film, or at least general spoilers for Halloween franchise as a whole. So the first timeline we have is not an official timeline, but it's one that I've always considered to be its own timeline because from this point past in its timeline, it technically follows, it gets confusing, and it honestly does not feel like it's connected to those films at all. Basically, this timeline consists of Halloween 1978 and Halloween 2 of 1981. Basically, these films are encapsulated by themselves in my book. They both take place on the same night, they feature a very clear reason why Michael Myers specifically tries to kill Laurie Strode, and of course, the death of Michael Myers burning into flames at the end of the film puts a crystal clear bookend to the Michael Myers story, and perhaps the best ending Michael will ever receive. So again, this is not the end of this official timeline, but if you can manage to think about these two films as their own ending to their timelines, I would consider this the best option to watch the films. But let's take a look further into the actual timeline that these two films technically fall into. This is the first official timeline of the entire franchise. It's known as the sequel timeline, or you might also refer to it as the Cult of Thorn timeline. This timeline is the first timeline chronologically. The films in this are Halloween 1978, Halloween 2 1981, Halloween 4, 5, and 6, skipping the third Halloween, but we will get to that one in a minute. The first two films, as I mentioned earlier, almost feel like they're completely separate from the other three sequels to the films. The last three in the timeline, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, and Halloween 6, I think something that is really interesting and kind of hard about even feeling like this timeline is even connected to each other kind of at all is because the Cult of Thorn literally exists only in Halloween 5 kind of, and then mostly in Halloween 6. In Halloween 4, basically it's like a weird spiritual connection to Laurie Strode's daughter, and Michael Myers essence goes into her, and the end of the film you're basically supposed to think that she killed her mom. In Halloween 5 they kind of retcon that ending and make Michael Myers the bad guy again, but his mask looks like an alien and he really isn't scary at all in this film. They also in this film show a guy who's dressed all in black and a black coat, and he basically shows up for a bit, and then at the end of the film they lock Michael Myers in jail. The man in black blows up the prison and releases him. And then Halloween 6 tries to wrap up the entire storyline by adding a cult, a symbol, Dr. Loomis dying, a Michael Myers incest baby, the reveal that the Man in Black is one throwaway character from the original Halloween, the guy Loomis talks to for like 50 seconds in one scene, and they also tried to add another sort of cliffhanger to Michael surviving this film too somehow. There is two versions of this film, they're both very different from each other in terms of editing and how much story that you know. Like the baby of Jamie Strode is not known to be Michael's in the theatrical cut, but it is in the producer's cut. An interesting fact about the producer's cut, for years this cut was leaked, and back in the day there would be VHS rips from one person to the next, and eventually one leaked online, and that's the only way the film ever made it to Blu-ray. Which, good luck grabbing this film, both theatrical and the producer's cut, because some of them can get expensive unless somebody doesn't know what they actually have in their collection. Both versions of these films are completely worth watching, but they feel almost like they're two entirely separate films and completely. This is the Cult of Thorn timeline, and it's one of the better timelines in my opinion, simply for the absolute swings that the franchise takes, and it has some really iconic moments of Michael, which is, always very much appreciated. So this is technically its own timeline, but it's more just a single film rather than an actual sort of long timeline. Basically this film is one that has absolutely nothing to do with anything else in the franchise. There are killer robots, Halloween masks that turn whoever is wearing them into bugs and snakes and other things. If you like Halloween the Holiday, this is a great movie for you because the film is one of the films that really does get me into the Halloween spirit, simply because of the vibe of the whole film. It's a great film, and I think it deserves a place in the Halloween franchise because I simply couldn't imagine a better place for this film. The Halloween H2O timeline for this film consists of the original Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween H2O, and Halloween Resurrection. It completely ignores almost every film in the sequel timeline and the anthology timeline. Basically, Michael Myers finds Laurie Strode after she went away, sort of in something kind of like witness protection, to get away from Michael, and she's teaching at a school. Michael finds her. Without getting too much into the specifics, I won't say how. Basically what happened was, Dimension Films would not make a single one-off film to Halloween, no matter how much everyone wanted to, like Laurie Strode or Jamie Lee Curtis, and everybody wanted to. So they came up with the idea for Halloween H2O to end with Laurie killing Michael Myers and have the lost child of the franchise Halloween Resurrection retcon what happened at the end of H2O. So if you just watch H2O, Michael Myers dies. If you watch Resurrection, he isn't actually dead, and they come up with a lot of reasons why he's not actually dead that are all very stupid. This timeline is fine, it just really fumbles the bag with Resurrection, so if you choose to just watch up to H2O and you'll be fine, unless you want to see Busta Rhymes karate chop Michael Myers, which does happen in that film, just so we're all completely clear. The remake timeline is Halloween 1 and Halloween 2, but it is not the original, it's two brand new films with those same two titles. Made by Rob Zombie, these films take Michael Myers' origin story and make the film more about the development of a serial killer than anything else. Only the last 30 minutes of the movie is actually the remake of the original Halloween film. Everything beforehand is its own completely separate thing, which I wish was never attached to Halloween, because I think it would have been great if it wasn't connected. Halloween 2 I've only ever watched once, but it's very dreamy and ethereal than the other film. These films are not nice and much worse in terms of violence and things like that than the other films in the series. This timeline kind of stands apart from the other films as a sort of weird cousin. However, I do think the first Halloween, at least Halloween 1, Rob Zombie's version, is worth watching. This timeline consists only of Halloween 1978 and the three films that were made for this timeline. It ignores Halloween 2, the remake timeline, the anthology timeline, the sequel timeline, and the H2O timeline, and gives us another Halloween film called Halloween. This timeline consists of Halloween 1978, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. The films try to bring Michael Myers to the new age in an interesting way and try to make his story very interesting, and while I do like the new films, I wish it was more focused on the characters and not on Michael as much as it was. In this timeline, Laurie Strode basically becomes a prepper, waiting for the day Michael Myers comes out of hiding and breaks out of prison, and because of that, Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills takes place on the same day. Halloween Ends starts after that. It's a fine series of films and better than some other horror films that have come out in these past few years, and also better than a lot of timelines in these series. So that is all I have for you guys. Thank you for watching. What did you think about the video? Did you learn anything? Did you learn about the insanity of these timelines? I hope that I was able to kind of make sense of all of these crazy timelines. So please let me know in the comments down below what you thought. Watch more of our videos. Click the link tree down in the description for access to all of my socials. As I say during October, as I said over on the Slashy channel, treat every day like it's Halloween. Thanks.